Hi, everybody, and welcome to your new moon solar eclipse pick a card reading for March 29th, 2025. And as I was setting up here, these three runes fell out of their bag, so they will be representing the piles today. I'll put timestamps down below if you wish to skip the intro and astrology. But first, let me introduce them. So, pile 1, your rune is Elhaz, the elk. Pile number 2 is Pertho, the cup. And pile number 3 is Nodhes, meaning necessity. Okay. So take your time, pause, and pick your pile if you like. Otherwise, stick around for the astrology, and we'll see you in your selected pile. Okay, everybody, so this is going to be taking place at 14 degrees Pisces in sidereal astrology in the 26th lunar nakshatra in Vedic astrology called Uttara Bhadrapada, and it is the serpent of the deep. So this is also conjunct a fixed star in the tip of the wing of Pegasus, and I'm going to share with you some highlights from a mentor I used to follow called The Hood Mystic on YouTube. If you know about him, his name's Kyrie Anthony. He writes a Substack under White Rabbit 33, so I just want to give credit where it's due because I'm going to share some information that he had on this eclipse as well. So in studying the solar eclipse, I came across the term Pegasus syndrome, the danger of elevation without protection. When you ascend in environments that hold you back, your rise threatens those you once saw as friends and supporters. Pegasus syndrome asks what happens when genius is taken away too soon. It reminds us that the source of our talent is spiritual, not something to be consumed by the ego. No matter how gifted you are still bound by the laws of nature, society, and time. In the Gospel of Thomas, the bubbling spring is the inner experience of divine wisdom that only an individual can experience. Like Pegasus, it means born from a spring, and we just had March 20th, first day of spring. The solar eclipse offers a moment to reflect on those who have ridden Pegasus and touched divine wisdom, but, like Bellerophon, confused that elevation with ego and were untimely struck down. The myth reminds us that spiritual power is real, but without humility, cultivation, and deep understanding, it can lead to collapse rather than ascension. On March 29th, 2025, a new moon and partial solar eclipse will take place in Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra within the constellation of Pisces. Eclipses open karmic portals, and while the external world may appear chaotic, an inner alchemical shift is underway, shaping the evolution of consciousness on the planet. If you can witness the change within yourself, you can access the energy needed to move forward. But this guidance doesn't come from outside. It must be found from within. The nakshatra of the solar eclipse is Uttara Bhadrapada, the guardian of the deep, ruled by the deity Erbudnya, excuse me for the pronunciation, the serpent of the depths and protector of Earth's hidden wealth. In metaphysical terms, this points to the Kundalini energy coiled at the base of the spine. When awakened, this force brings self-knowledge that is not only considered wealth, but also carries the potential to destroy, not through malice, but because of its immense raw power. Everywhere you go, your soul recognizes you and is forever connected to God. That means God knows everything about you, your path, potential, and purpose. But the ego, which seeks safety and familiarity, does not understand where these inner jewels come from and often spends its life chasing illusions. Our mission is given by God, not by the ego, and the blueprint for this mission is already within you. The memory of who you've always been is encoded in your DNA and can be accessed through intention and awareness. This new moon activates the energy of the Naga serpent, a symbol of divine power and ancient memory. It's interesting because we're in the year of the snake now, and now that we have a solar eclipse on a snake symbol. It's the reminder to be intentional and to recognize that everything you need is already inside you. Spiritual power begins with understanding, not outward success, material wealth, or things going your way. True wealth is knowledge of the self. Like Pegasus, who was born from the blood of Medusa, yet ascended to become a constellation, we are reminded that alchemy begins in darkness. It is through the traumas that we find our light. So for the full moon pick a card reading, if you picked pile 1, the alchemy card, if it shows up again, I'm going to freak, but called the darkening or the melanosis. So that could be connected to whatever pile you choose today. And with the snake starting at the bottom of the spine and rising up, and we're talking about a spring, welling up or bubbling up of a spring, this energy rising from within us. Perhaps this is the darkest point before the dawn. This is the deepest and darkest we're going to get before things start rising and coming to light. There's the Sabian symbols. Those are channeled messages back from the early 1900s. A psychic channeled a message or symbol for every degree of the zodiac. So the Sabian symbol of the solar eclipse at 14 degrees Pisces, represented by the image of a lady wrapped in fox fur. Symbols are not meant to be taken literally. They ask to be decoded. The lady signifies the receptive aspect of consciousness, the soul, the part of us that remains connected to the divine. The fox fern, known for its association with instinct and cleverness, symbolizes spiritual intelligence, which doesn't rely on logic alone, but on inner knowing. We don't need to force or chase outcomes when truly receptive to divine guidance. Instead, we align with the natural flow of God force energy, moving with purpose, grace, and trust. In the Astro Tarot chart, the second decan of Pisces, which is where this eclipse takes place, is ruled by the Nine of Cups. In the Voodoo Tarot, this is called Madame la Lune, a fitting name, especially during a solar eclipse when the moon momentarily steps in front of the sun and interrupts Earth's natural rhythm. In this brief window, the goddess of the moon can move swiftly, making powerful shifts on a magical level. She may offer access to the magic mirror, often called the mirror of the young moon, which invites the soul to journey toward miracles and unseen possibilities. Now, also in my full moon pick a card, I had the magic mirror show up in pile 3. So if you picked that, perhaps you have a connection to the message you're about to receive as well. So the number 9 in the Nine of Cups links to Yesod, the foundation on the tree of life. And in 9 years like this, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. So we're in a numerology 9 year. The connection is even more potent. Yesod represents the energetic reservoir where emotional forces gather before manifesting into form. Cups as an element reflect water and emotion, but not as passive states. Emotions are energy in motion. They must be joined with intention and action to become real. This is why how you feel and how you act must be in alignment. You can feel negativity and act from that place, or you can feel joy and move accordingly. The choice depends on your proximity to your soul, and no external force, circumstance, or environment can sever that connection. Your soul is your compass. The closer you walk with it, the more you access true happiness. That's why the Thoth Tarot calls the Nine of Cups happiness, not a fleeting emotion, but a deep reward of living in alignment with your inner truth. Yet the emotional spectrum is fluid. The same things that bring laughter can also bring tears. So let your foundation be something eternal. Let your foundation be your soul. Just hours after the solar eclipse, Saturn enters sidereal Pisces, signaling profound spiritual and emotional shift in how we process grief, navigate boundaries, and confront the reality of the unseen. With this transit, Pisces hosts a powerful stellium. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Rahu, and Saturn all converged in one sign. This alignment initiates a collective trial, one meant to test and transform. The reward is not comfort, but spiritual maturity. If you reach this point, it means you've already endured more than most. And it's not in vain. Saturn may be a harsh teacher, but it also blesses those who walk with integrity and stay spiritually aligned. This is a time to stay grounded, reflect, and understand that the karmic wheel always turns, sometimes slowly, sometimes swift, but always just. We are living through a moment that demands spiritual clarity. The alignment of this eclipse with Pegasus, Al-Janib is the fixed star, and Uttara Bhadrapada is not a coincidence. It's a mirror held up to our collective soul. We are being asked to reckon with what elevation means, not fame, not power, but internal mastery. The path of ascension begins in the shadows, the places we avoid, the pain we carry, and the stories we inherit. True transformation doesn't come from escaping our past, but from honoring it, learning from it, and transmuting it into wisdom. This solar eclipse offers more than spectacle. It offers access to ancient memory, divine intelligence, and a foundation rooted in the soul, not illusion. Let this moment not be about fear, but about alignment. Let it remind you that what's buried inside you, your gifts, your peace, and your voice are waiting not to be flaunted, but to be integrated and protected. If the light dims for a while, it's only so you can see what's real. Okay, so I have under this deck, now that I'm done shuffling, number 9. So a 9 year, the 9 of Cups, the Hermit card, Virgo showing up, some Hermetic wisdom being shared there. Again, go check out The Hood Mystic or White Rabbit 33 on Substack for more from Kyrie Anthony. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see you in your selected pile. So, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Hi, pile number 1, you chose Elhaz, the elk rune, meaning it's sharp-tined sedge. The totem power provides protection. So some strong masculine force field of protection. This rune is also called Algiz, which means the swan. The rune could stand for a link between a man and his spirit guide, which may take an animal form. In reading, the protection Elhaz comes from one's relationship with a personal divinity or spirit guardian. The rune can be represented by the fingers splayed in the sign of warding. The appearance of this rune in a reading almost certainly means protection for the querent, possibly by means of drawing on natural powers or allowing previously suppressed aspects of the personality to operate. Willis says it indicates a beneficent new influence, willing sacrifice, the exchange of lesser for greater good. The querent will be protected, or at least warned. For Peterson, the appearance of this rune indicates luck in the hunt, the successful outcome to a quest, success through striving, or rewarded effort. All right, so let's begin with your alchemy card and see what we got. Okay, the red and white rose. Here we have more serpent symbology. If you watched the introduction, this eclipse is taking place in the 26th lunar mansion, ruled by a serpent of the deep, the protector of Earth's wealth. And it's also a symbol of the Kundalini, the energy coiled at the base of the spine, waiting to rise. This is the number 59 we have, the 17th prime number. That's going to be associated with the star energy, Aquarius, and Uranus, the unexpected. But let's see what the red and white rose is symbolic of. Okay, so this does have to do with vital force, arising and awakening, with the red energy of Mars there, masculine fire energy. In the laboratory, the merging of red and white is an exquisite moment. It means something is coming to life before the alchemist's eyes. The pristine white of the rose is not threaded by the blood red pigment. Their mixing does not make pink. Rather, each color remains vibrantly itself, expressing its message. Like the rod of Asclepius, representing health and vitality, the flos sapientum appears to signify the awakening of the physical as a gateway to the spiritual. What do we have here is an eclipse. It's a spiritual gateway to the physical. This could involve physical healing for some of you. If you saw the intro too, I had the Hermit card underneath there. Virgo, the 6th house of healing, and now we have the rod of Asclepius represented here as well. So without the body, spiritual teachings remain conceptual, not yet integrated into the everyday. This card encourages the alchemist to honor the body as a temple each and every day, observing it, listening to it, mining it for information and guidance. At its height, this card signifies a mastery, a uniting of body to serve the soul's purpose, as seen in the like of dancers, athletes, and during the birth process. And we are amidst coming up on the season of Aries in sidereal in about 2 weeks. So we have the energy of Mars, the sun being in the house of Mars, to light a fire under us, maybe, to feel this energy rising within us. Okay. And now your archetype card. Let's see what we got. The crone, number 13. So that is also the death card. Could be seeing a lot of black feathers, crows, coins. But the crone being the final phase of the feminine form, maiden mother crone, this is the wisdom phase. And there's a lot of, you're going to be getting advice from your elders in the next 2 weeks. I think even if you don't know them, you could be somebody sitting on a park bench that you sit down next to and they start talking to you. But there's going to be some gem of wisdom that they're going to share with you that could be transformative, that could change your life. Whether it's a story about how they overcame their own health challenges, it's going to inspire and invigorate you to do the same, or to at least avoid the negative consequences of not taking action. Just as an example. So your experience and encounter, of course, will vary. But the crone is the witch, the old woman, the sage. The crone has seen it all. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation of the feminine trifecta of Maiden Mother Crone. In her long life, she's witnessed endless cycles of death, sex, failure, rebirth, conflict, and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong. She has seen the earth churning, smoldering, taking life, and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in, devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth, using their energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge. Her energy resides in all of us, though it is feared by most for its power and unconventional relationship with death and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. The crone is the master of letting go and residing in what is. She rejects nothing. The crone is often seen with the crow, smoke, night, and the moon. So this being the number 13 death card. Again, I mentioned in the intro, this might be the darkest point before the dawn. This is as deep as we go. Maybe digging up the core of something and like removing it. Like this crow has its talons wrapped around that coin. It almost feels like it's extracting something, a memory, a wound, but it's like whatever's been sitting on top of the snake's head that keeps it from rising up. But let's move on to your tarot cards and see what we have. So the 10 of Cups being your first card out, that's phenomenal. All right, so happiness, fulfillment. The tarot card of this eclipse is the 9 of Cups, which fulfillment, happiness earned over a long period of time. So again, this could be the end of a karmic cycle being a 10. Things are ready to blossom now. We have the lotus flowers here that work their way through the deep, dark, muddy waters until they breach the surface and bloom. And it's like a late bloomer thing. It's but everything comes in divine timing. It's like even if you feel like you're late to the game, you're not. It's everything's arriving just in time. We have the 2 of Cups also, so another water sign. This is Venus in Cancer, but it's soulmates, love, support, very deep connection. And now we have the 7 of Water. All this water, you may be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or you may have a partner that is helping you see through this chaos, helping you sort out the details, or this crone energy. It could be a mother, grandmother, whoever this wise person is, loves you unconditionally and is helping you kind of navigate the darkest parts of the ocean, bringing you up closer and closer to the surface. And finally, we have the Ace of Earth. All right, this is, if you watch the intro, you'll see I shuffled live for these cards, but here we have the Elk. Elwaz, protection. There is a protective ring around you and possibly your loved ones. Whatever it is you're building, it's in good faith. It's an emotional blockage may be received or may be experienced, released, excuse me, as we, come down to this waning moon, and then we're ready to start over. Ace of Coins is a new beginning. It's a fresh start, a fresh protected start. Whatever it is I know Mercury's been retrograde and it's been, not wise to start new projects or whatever, but so things may begin to take off here. They're going to be reversing in direction shortly after this eclipse. Now, of course, these can take up to 6 months to be effective, but you could see it as soon as Mercury starts moving direct, April 7th. And Venus, April 12th. So these Angels and Ancestors cards fell down as I was shuffling. So we have the Sky Father, Trust in the Unknown, the Protection Guardian. So protection 3 times has showed up in your reading now. Great teacher, learned from spiritual experiences. I think this eclipse and a possible encounter with an elderly person, or maybe they have already passed, and you'll be able to use this eclipse as a portal of communication or touching the void and receiving messages from them. This could be somebody, maybe it was an old teacher of yours that passed away, but there may be a message with the dove, right? Carrier pigeons coming through to you in your dreams. And then we have Traveler moving a new direction. Well, that Ace of Coins is indicative of that as well. It's safe travel too. If you plan on traveling anywhere, you will get there safely. You're highly, highly protected here in this most vulnerable state that you may have found yourself as of late. But this feeling of things turning around is coming on strong. But there is a spirit guide. That mentioned the Elwaz rune is the connection between man and his spirit guide. So this could be your spirit guide, one of your angels asking you to have faith, trust that you're protected, trust in the unknown. Just because you haven't been there before doesn't mean it's not where you're meant to be. All right, so we had boundaries. Again, somebody has definitely got their wings wrapped around you. The whisper, here comes that message. When you least expect it, that communication. Maybe while you're in nature, listening to the sounds of nature, listening to the wind. Okay. Queen of the Moon Oracle for pile 1, please. Boundaries means closing doors too. If you're traveling in a new direction, there's somebody or something that you might be leaving behind. It could be the state of confusion or these multiple choices that you had. If you felt overwhelmed by choices, this guide is going to help close the doors on some of those and make it more clear for you. Underneath this deck, we have the attraction of the supermoon, number 44, April 4th, perhaps. It could be an age. But the supermoon is super attraction, and it's reminding me of this Ace of Coins too, this gift. All right, maybe that's the need for the extra protection because you're so attractive. Okay, the wolf moon, hunger, another full moon, number 29. And this eclipse is taking place on the 29th, the 10th prime number. And we had the 10 of Cups start this reading. But yeah, something by the next full moon, April 12th, maybe, you'll get this message by then. A message or an invitation could be to travel. Some messages from our Lenormand deck. Pile 1. All right, the well. So that goes with the 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the wishing well. Also bringing up the bucket from the depths. There's an ascension there till the light is reached. And the crane sounds like crow's nest. Seeing things from a higher vantage point too. But also this nest egg, this building, this security. The Queen of Cups is indicated there in the bottom corner. And you have the 17. Didn't we have number 59, 17? So these numbers are showing up again. Also related to 7. The 7th prime is 17. So we have the Chariot movement. And the Queen of Cups being Cancer as well. It could be something to do with your home. Again, with the crone there, mother, grandmother. Could be traveling to visit somebody at home. Yeah, there's like a book of secrets. There's some knowledge that's going to come to light that you didn't know about. That could change your whole perspective on how you're seeing yourself in your current situation, how you're seeing the world. Okay. All right, a Rose Oracle for pile 1, please. All right, we have open, say yes, expand through extremes, trust life. What does it say? Trust in the unknown. So just because one door closes doesn't mean another one's not going to open. It absolutely does. Okay, let's finish off with some angel messages for you. Pile 1. We have adventure. Okay, some of you are definitely going somewhere. Or you'll be invited on a journey, whether spiritual or physical. We have beauty. And we have efficiency. So there's that wisdom, I think, working smarter, not harder. Getting things out of the way, taking care of business so you can be free to adventure. And we have harmony. Harmony, beauty, all wonderful things coming for you. How could it not with the 10 of Cups there and the Ace of Coins? All right. Well, thank you so much, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. You chose the 14th rune, Pertho, which means lot, cup, or gain peace. The Pertho pours its play from the rune cup, chance or change for man or child. So I think of like a Yahtzee cup where, I mean, basically that's what they did. They had the runes in the cup and shake it up, toss them out. And it's a device for casting lots. The appearance of Pertho in a reading is an omen that one should explore the implications of the operation of fate or of chance in the context of the reading. The appearance of Pertho could mean that forces already set in motion are working themselves out, or that an unexpected or apparently random factor is going to intervene. On a psychological level, it could involve needing to deal with uncertainty or being willing to take risks, or even a need to lighten up and play. In business, it could mean risk or something unexpected, good or bad. In terms of personal development, Pertho may refer to those opportunities and constraints with which one was fated at birth, factors determined by heredity and the environment into which one was born. In readings, it indicates disclosure of something previously hidden, unexpected luck, a good guess. Pertho can be used to intensify or speed up the action of the word. He finds it useful as a rune of meditation to recover hidden knowledge about the runes and to learn how to use them in the modern world. Okay, upright, it means... it means in healing, it can be drawn over the womb, open and downward to get a blocked menstrual flow going smoothly. It is a drawing with the open downward to open the womb for birth, upward during pregnancy to prevent miscarriage. So with this eclipse being in water sign, feminine energy, the cup being held or poured out. Let's see if something needs to be released here, but we're going to start with your alchemy card. Okay, coagulation, so something is stuck. Or maybe it's holding things in place that need to be held in place. But that is number 66. It is solidity, adherence, and stuckness. Coagulatio is the great alchemical operation of earth. By way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid churning into a solid formation. The formerly disparate ingredients begin adhering to each other into a fixed and solid unit. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. When you hear the phrase, it is finally taking shape, coagulation is underway. The shadow aspect of coagulatio is that the elements may have come together without much awareness, and in turn they become unconsciously attached. Inertia and resentment set in. The parts can no longer separate, even if they wish to. Many long-term relationships have coagulatio aspects, a naturally occurring codependency by which both parties feel unseen or unknown as individuals. The work of coagulatio is to experience the merging with other while not losing oneself in the mush. When this card appears, the alchemist must discern whether the earth element is helping or hindering the work. Is the attachment one of benevolence or convenience? Okay. Now your archetype card. We have the village. Okay. 41, 13th prime, which is the death card, number 13. And that is what, 66, I said. Okay. So the village, it's another kind of symbol of confinement, really. Being stuck in a small community, not wanting to break out of and explore. But if that's not your intention, maybe your intention is to be part of a group, of a sealed and confined protected community. Not necessarily physically, but spiritually, energetically bound to a group of people. But there is some closeness here, and it has to do with fate being the cup of chance being involved. This is the hometown, the family, the tribe. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present any time we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying with its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return, for now the world awaits. Returning to the village is as important as leaving it. It can be thought of as a completion or an integration of what you learned out in the wild. The village moves with you, as it is more of a mindset than a physical place. So all your memories, experiences, influences as a child that you carry with you in your adult life, the village moves with you. It influences who you will become. Now in the intro, I did also mention about, it talked about ascension, and that how others around you may try to sabotage because, let me find it. When you ascend in environments that hold you back, your rise threatens those you once saw as friends and supporters. And when you're Pegasus syndrome asks what happens when genius is taken away too soon. It reminds us that the source of our talent is spiritual, not something to be consumed by our ego. No matter how gifted you are, you're still bound by the laws of nature, society, and time. So being bound, like this coagulation, something being held back or restricted, perhaps the way you were raised, it would discourage you from acting or being a certain way. This new moon solar eclipse is all about knowing yourself. So it might be having to do with removing, it looks like a clog in a drain, right? A hair clog. Once you remove it, things start to flow again. And I feel like your energy has been bound up in all these programs that you were raised with and that tell you how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be like us. You were raised in this village, this family. Maybe it's pressure to take over a family business or follow in your parents' footsteps and do what they did as a profession. It's, this is kind of like a need to unclog that coagulation, to remove that, to really get to know yourself and be comfortable with ascending, not out of ego or for anybody other than you. So your tarot cards, here we have the Queen of Fire. Yeah, I'd say that's action. That's Mars energy. Achievement. She is independent. She's a master creator. Magician. We have the Five of Earth. So perhaps coming from an unstable or unsure background. The Empress. Could be poverty in the family line, on the mother's side. And then Justice. Getting justice. Maybe this is you or someone, leaving the family. Maybe you're the first one in your family to go to college, to get a degree, to break this family curse of poverty by becoming your own entrepreneur. They might laugh at you and say, hey, oh, you can't do this for a business. What are you thinking? And I mean, the brighter you shine your light, though, the more abundance you're going to attract here in the Empress. And justice, karmic justice will be done. It will be brought back into balance. Things were Five of Earth. Things were being taken from you or taken from your ancestors, but there is a reclaiming here. There is being paid. A debt is paid, repaid. Somebody made it right. Let's get your Queen of the Moon Oracle here. But there'll be enough, like it said, coming back to the village is just as important. You may be able to return to your village as an empress with assistance, because the Five of Coins is, like the beggars at the church. It's like you're either in that state of need or you're able to give to those in need. And with the Justice card there, that's what it feels like, being able to return the energy to the source, to the village. But it's like, even if the village doesn't trust your methods, they will once they see the result. So we have fear. Yeah. Fear holding you back. That's the clog. That's the coagulation. Fear of either rejection, abandonment, judgment. That's similar to the Justice card. But all these, the cage is empty. You have to fly the coop. You have to break free. You have to go outside this boundary. That's like the limitations of your mind. It's like giving me Nine of Swords vibes, where the woman's sitting up straight in bed and can't sleep. It's the worry, the self-doubt, or maybe just because this is, again, I feel like inherited stress of some sort. It doesn't have to be monetary, but there's some kind of pressure that has been, or fear that's been passed down through the generations. So let me get a Rose Oracle for you. Pile 2, please. All right, the reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship. So again, that reunification, there has to be a separation first, though, before this reunion can happen. A separation from the familiar, from what you've always done, maybe to earn money. This is asking you to take a chance on yourself in order to be successful and bring that success back to your loved ones, your family. Underneath, we have Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, and channel. So you are a channel. You could have a channel or begin a channel. But this is the artist. This is the fire, the initiation of creation. Leo is the 5th house of creativity. And the Empress being there, producing, fertile. something of great value. Okay. And we have, what is it? The element of earth, the coagulatio, the earth, bringing things, bringing security, stability, balance back to to your source. All right, for Goddess Guidance card, I pulled Guiding Children, Damara. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. So this could be you maybe going to night school in order to get a better career, to take care of your children. And then we have Nima Tona, Sacred Space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. So having time for yourself, living in your own uninterrupted energy is really going to accelerate this process. Having time out for you. Don't forget to take care of yourself along the way. That's another earth element thing. Self-care, getting like Queen of Coins energy. Have this journey card for you. Some of you getting justice for children or fighting to get custody. Justice saying it'll work out in your favor. Trust the process. And a light in the dark. That's exactly what these eclipses are. It's the balance of yin and yang. It's the light in the dark and the dark in the light. So here we have the darkest part, the new moon. It's completely black, but there is still light in the darkness. And I feel like that's coming from you. So don't give up on that. And underneath we have introspection. This new moon is perfect time for that. Reflecting on what is most valuable to you and what steps can you take and will you take, writing down your intentions in order to get there. Let's get some guidance from our angels and ancestors. Direction Guardian, choose your path. Yes, you're illustrating the very path that you're walking on. And underneath, Air Guardian, shift your perception. So the perception of fear and lack into one of abundance as the Empress, as the one bringing justice. And any Lenormand messages for us? All right, so it's going to have to do with making a public appearance. I said many of you are making creations. You're eventually going to have to present your art to the world. This is a gallery or a platform somewhere that people are going to come and see you and see what a treasure you are, what gifts you have to bring. It's like the missing link of what they needed. And the owl, your wisdom too. Your experience, I mean, it could be also some of you getting hired, maybe to a law firm, or communication, something to do with air energy, research, teaching, any of the above. Communications. All right, let's grab some angel messages for you. But people are going to see you. They're going to notice you. Something is eye-catching, either about your appearance or whatever it is you're producing. So we have freedom here. And peace. Yeah, freedom to be yourself. Freedom to be at peace. And truth. Okay, so Libra energy coming through strong too. Again, with the Justice card. And justice is truth. Truth is justice. All right. So, thank you so much for tuning in, Pile 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care, and we will see you next time. Bye. Hi, Pile number 3. You chose the 10th rune, Nodhees, which means necessity. Forcing fate from need. One way to deal with necessity is to use it to identify our deepest needs and purposes, to find out who we really are. Those who succeed in life are those who have learned how to separate their life work from all the other possibilities, to focus their energies, and to work with the natural constraints and structures of the medium they choose. There can be no action without reaction, and without something to push against, one goes nowhere. Nodhees can be used to give strength to meet and overcome trials, to confront to summon up the adrenaline rush needed to confront disaster, help deal with stress. It's the rune of the inner stress that can drive an individual to greatness or destroy him. In its negative aspect, it can cause compulsive behavior and obsession. In a reading, the rune can indicate problems that weigh on the spirit, frustrations, blocks, but also constraints that can become helpful if properly used. The problem may be opportunity for change and growth if properly approached. The need may also be for action. Osborne and Longland call it a change rune, an omen of good, the necessity for transformation. Indicates delay, constraint, affliction, lack, chronic problems. There is a need for patience and endurance and perhaps voluntary limitations of obligations. A learning situation. So this sounds very Saturnian. It's a learning opportunity. A rune of banishing and cleansing by fire. Okay, so let's see what your alchemy card is. I forgot to bring them up here. Here we go. Okay, Splendor Solace, the Sun Splendor, number 53. So the sun coming out tomorrow is the song I'm hearing. So it means generosity, health, and abundance. Revel in the glory of the Splendor Solace. There are several cards in the alchemy deck that relate to the sun, yet this card specifically depicts the long-term effects of its radiance. Think abundance, fulfillment, and altruism. Envision celebration and collaboration. But is it possible? In our complex world, the sun splendor says yes, one day and one ray at a time. When Splendor Solace arrives in the laboratory, the alchemist realizes that kindness and generosity are the secret ingredients. All other paths fall away. Through giving back to others and the world, we become more like the sun itself, radiant, light, and expecting nothing in return. Don't know where to start? Thank someone. Then thank another person. Soon the alchemist finds that they are not alone in their laboratory, and miracles arrive, both small and large. The Sun Splendor is a card that indicates long-term overachieving success and health. Though it is practiced daily, it accumulates into an ongoing narrative for the querent. Scarcity often prevents us from feeling the sun's abundant splendor. Give freely today, give anonymously even, then take note of how you feel. Okay, that's a great way to start this reading. I will take it. I think anything else that follows is going to be uplifted by this card. And now we have the Lover, so the swan exploding with this kind of energy of the sun at the center even. They both have these gold coins or dots. I don't know about you, if you watched that lunar eclipse or had viewing capabilities like I did, it was clear. It looked, the moon turned like that rust-colored red, but it also looked almost like a ruddy, like yellow, gold color. It looked like a gold coin, just like in the sky, but it was reflecting the sun's rays, right? So the Lover, that's number 17. I feel that's self-explanatory, but it's also this transformative swan. The ugly duckling turning into the beautiful swan, not just physically, but spiritually, energetically. This whole eclipse is about this transformation portal, the serpent that lies coiled at the deep, in the deepest waters, rising up. This is my pile of achievers. You guys are there, or you're just about to reach this milestone of pure, like this is you turned a teaching moment, a difficult moment into a teaching moment, and you grew from it. And it changed you forever in a good way. So we have the Hanged Man, number 12, and I knew this card was going to come up in this pick a card. That's why I chose this deck, in hopes that this card would come up. And if you saw the intro, I was shuffling live, so there's no way I could have planted that. So number 12 is the House of Pisces. It's also Uranian energy, Neptunian energy that goes deep. It's the unexpected. It's also being sacrifice. It said self-sacrifice, altruism, giving up comfort for later gains, having the endurance to withhold something. And this imagery also makes me think of Icarus, flying too close to the sun and his wings melting. So where pride and ego get in the way, as I mentioned in the intro, can be your downfall when it's meant to basically, can't believe I'm saying this, but give your glory to God. It's like, everything that you have is a result of your connection to the divine. It's not you. It's not the ego. It's your divine energy that you owe credit to. So by staying humble and not being proud and peacocking or flashing off, look how good I am, look how much money I gave to charity, it's being humble and just letting your light shine through. And that is going to keep you at this higher frequency and connection to spirit. So going back to this, because the solar eclipse is conjunct this star in Pegasus, right? And we were talking about Pegasus syndrome in the intro. I'm just going to revisit that for a second. In the Gospel of Thomas, the bubbling spring is an inner experience of divine wisdom that can only an individual can experience. Like Pegasus, it means to be born from a spring. We just entered the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. The solar eclipse offers a moment to reflect on those who have ridden Pegasus and touched divine wisdom, but like Bellerophon, confused that elevation with ego and were untimely struck down. The myth reminds us that spiritual power is real, but without humility, cultivation, and deep understanding, it can lead to collapse rather than ascension. Okay. If you can witness the change within yourself, you can access the energy needed to move forward, but this guidance doesn't come from the outside. It must be found within. That's why you have to dive deep, go head first into the depths of the subconscious, of the psyche. So we have then, your next card is the Five of Air, Five of Swords. So some kind of struggle. Obviously, something was very uncomfortable. Uncomfortable truths, perhaps, had to be faced or heard. We have the Ten of Fire, burning those contracts. More fire energy. We're going from a water sign, Pisces, into a fire sign, Aries, in a couple more weeks. But we have this completion of a cycle, the number 10. We're releasing and letting go of this Five of Swords, combative, energy within ourselves, within our own minds, or even with others. We're letting that fall by the wayside. Sometimes it's just, don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. You're letting the little things, people are going to try and nitpick you as you're ascending too. They're going to try and keep you down with them. But you have to recognize that as it's happening and not get sucked into their drama. And then we have this final card, the King of Earth, wearing the elk horns, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, stability, success, wealth. And starting with the sun's splendor, it's easy to see. Like, you are shining and you are meant to shine. This is your God-given right, your God-given talents. So let's see what your Queen of the Moon Oracle has to say. But there is success after a lot of hard work, after going through a lot of karmic lessons. Maybe this is you finally getting it and taking, again, that hard lesson and turning it into the opportunity. Realization. Yeah, you get it. Oh, and it's even a keyhole, cut out of a book of wisdom. There's, you're walking through that portal of the eclipse. I get it now. I'm free of this. I can move forward. And then we have new beginnings. Another archway, 3-2, 32, 23. Maybe showing up for you. And then we have focus underneath, number 14, this eclipse at 14 degrees Pisces. And all right, so focus on the new beginning. Focus, even if it means leaving people behind. You're leaving them in the dirt. You're leaving them to squabble amongst themselves. You're elevating, but again, don't let it go to your head. Stay focused on your purpose, your soul's purpose and gifts, what you're meant to share. If that energy is not for you, walk away. Okay, a journey card for pile 3. Keep going. Okay, need I may say more, and underneath is the journey, another doorway. This new moon is absolutely a new opportunity for you. So take this lesson, turn it into an opportunity, walk through that door, collect the blessing on the other side, and feel good doing it. Let's see what your angels and ancestors have to contribute. Summer, bask in joy and light. We have the sun again, a bee, nectar, golden honey, the queen. And we have Lord, take charge with authority. So there's a lot of Aries symbolism, right? Look at the ram. We have the sun in Aries, in sidereal in a couple weeks. The horned god, the green. There's a lot of taking charge here of your destiny. Again, like I said, I don't think you're playing the victim anymore. If you did, you no longer see yourself as a victim in the Hanged Man. It's like, I put myself here, which Odin did. He hung himself upside down in order to gain enlightenment, in order to get the knowledge of the runes. There is a take charge, authoritarian, I am the master of my own destiny from this point on energy coming through. How about some Lenormand? All right, the sky. Yeah, the sun's coming out. More energy of the sun after the storm. The storm is past. The King of Clubs is the King of Coins, and it already showed up here as well. So that's your outcome. Keep shining, right? You're untouchable. You're protected. And angel messages for pile 3. Delight. Absolutely. What else would you be if you're the sun itself? Some of you could have strong Leo or placements in Leo. We have spontaneity and communication. Yeah, the network of people. I see like dispersing your light. And you know the telephone game, you whisper and tell somebody. I mean, it doesn't always end up perfect, but there's connections being made. There's joy being shared. You're going to have the energy to be more spontaneous, like the bee, just jumping from flower to flower, just pollinating with ideas, with love, with wealth, whatever it is that you have, the blessings coming towards you. Just spread that like wildfire. All right. Thank you so much, Pile 3, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care and have a wonderful eclipse. Bye.